Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I do apologize for the AC background noise, but Indiana decided to turn the heat all the way up. I can't believe we are not even into summer proper and we are already boiling. Anyways, that's neither here or there. Today we are doing another wrap-up / recent reads video. You already know the drill. I'm not going to be telling you about every single book that I read in the month of May, but I am simply going to choose a few of them that stuck out in my mind. To kick things off, let me just tell you overall how my reading month went. In the month of May, I read 6 books, which is I think pretty average for me. The genres were kind of all over the place. I read some fantasy, some mystery, some dark romance, and also a sci-fi that I couldn't really follow. So for the month of May, I have technically 4 books that I want to highlight, so let's just get right into it. As I kind of just mentioned, I did read a sci-fi that stuck out in my mind only because it made me feel really dumb, and that was Quantum Radio by A.G. Riddle. Essentially what this book is about is some kind of device is discovered to be transmitting some sort of message, but not exactly from this world. It seems to be from a parallel world, and so we have to decipher the message, figure out who sent it, what do they want, and can we trust them and the message. That sounded very interesting to me. I personally really love the idea of alternate or parallel dimensions to ours. This was an adult sci-fi though. It was sci-fi / historical fiction. I ended up giving it a 3 stars. I was into the mystery, but it was very heavy on physics and quantum mechanics and just science overall. A lot of the other reviews did say it was very easy to follow, so I would not be discouraged by my review of this book. I just personally feel like I genuinely do not have the capacity to follow along, and I really struggled. Not enough to put the book down and not finish it, because again, the mystery at the core of everything was enough to propel me through the book. But holy moly, I was reading some of the more sciencey parts and it was absolute gibberish. Somehow I did enjoy it. It was enough for 3 stars. I did enjoy it, but at the same time, I don't know if I could tell you the science or the facts behind what actually ended up happening. And this is actually part of a series, so it ended and I kind of knew where we stood, but at the same time I didn't. So this was an interesting one and I thought I would mention it. If you really enjoy sci-fi and historical fiction, alternate history, this might be one that you'll enjoy. And again, all the other reviews said the science was simple to follow along. Just clearly, science was not my strong suit. The next book I wanted to mention is Stone Cold Fox by Rachel Kohler Croft, and I do believe this is the author's debut novel, and what a debut novel it was. I gave this book a 4 stars, but I think in a tiny part of my heart, it is a 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. The only reason I didn't formally, officially give it a 5 stars is because that ending did kind of not underwhelm me, but it came kind of quick. So I actually ended up going into this book completely blind. I put in the hold for this book several months ago, I think even before it properly released, so there was a several months wait time for the book to come in. I don't know if when I put in the hold I knew what it was about. When it actually came through, I had completely forgotten what the book was about. I really enjoyed not knowing, but you might want to know what this book is about. Essentially, this is a mystery, but it did not read like a proper mystery until probably halfway through the book. And then halfway, I was like, where are we going with this? I was still enjoying it, but I wanted to know, what am I setting myself up for? Like, is this a romance? What is this? No, it was a mystery. So Stone Cold Fox is about Bea, B-E-A. I'm not really sure how you pronounce that. And she has basically lived a life of conning and scamming people with her mother, and she has finally decided to leave her mother behind and marry a very rich man who is going to give her the life of comfort and pleasure that she thinks she has earned thus far. And she is very ambitious, and she is very calculating and very manipulative. And so she does narrow in on Colin, who is, you know, old money, exactly the type of mark that Bea needs in order to achieve her mission. One last job. The job of a lifetime that is going to secure her future. And even though Bea expected some pushback from his family and his inner circle of other filthy rich friends, she did not anticipate how hard it was going to be. And not just his old money family, but also his best friend, Gail, who happens to be the girl best friend. And Gail can see right through her, and that is a problem. And so this book follows Bea's journey into trying to win over Colin's family while trying to keep her entire identity a secret and her plan on track without Gail derailing the whole thing. And it was just so fun, so interesting. Bea, as despicable as she sounds, there was something so alluring about her. Like, I just loved the fact that she didn't give up. Like, she kept pushing back. Like, the girl knew how to push buttons. She knew what she wanted, and she was going to get it. And there is something that I can respect about that she's not a quitter. And I really enjoyed the vibes of this book. Like, I loved being in on this journey with her, and also feeling the nerves of, is Gail going to blow this? Is everything just going to go up in flames? I don't know. Like, every time it seemed that we were safe, Gail just had something else to pull, and it was just a really fun read. Like I said, I officially gave it a 4 stars, but in my heart, it might be a 5 stars. I don't know. And finally, for the last 2 books that are actually a duology, I have to give a huge shout out to Lauren, one of the sweetest people on BookTube. I have known her since the beginning of my BookTube journey, and the book recommendation that she gave me in my last wrap-up video, chef's kiss. So perfect. She understood the assignment. She knew what I was looking for, and I ate it up. It was great. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. I am talking about The Sinner's Duet by Sophie Lark. I'm pretty sure I finished the first book in like a day and a half. I could not put it down. The Sinner's Duet is about 2 serial killers who have their eye on the same girl. As you can expect, it is a wild ride. I will say I loved this more than I loved the Haunting Adeline duology. But I think Haunting Adeline was also a lot more darker and intense. Even though this Sinner's duology is about serial killers, and you do have some very graphic and gory depictions of some of their murders, I feel like it was only a couple, whereas Haunting Adeline just had an overall really dark and heavy tone and topic. And I would obviously recommend that you look up all of the trigger warnings, because there are plenty for this one, as there was with Haunting Adeline. But I do think like this duology was just right up my alley. It was dark, but we have the love interest of like, touch her and you'll die. And I die for that trope, okay? Thank you, Lauren. I really enjoyed this. And again, that's just my perspective in terms of what I'm okay with reading. Just look up the trigger warnings and see if it's something that you like. And if anyone else has any other recommendations along the same lines as these two duologies, leave me a comment down below because I can't wait to read more. And those are the 4 books that I wanted to highlight this month. I would call May a win. There was no book that I didn't enjoy, even Quantum Radio, even though it was difficult to follow and I didn't necessarily know what was going on the whole time. I still enjoyed the gist of it. Hopefully June goes just as swell. I will say I am struggling a little bit. I think I mentioned in my last video that I do feel a reading hump coming along. I don't want to say it's a reading slump. I do want to read. I just can't find anything that catches my interest. Whereas when I'm in a reading slump, I don't even want to see a book. We'll see how next month goes. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. My name is Elle, and I'll see you in next time's video.